Ever said yes when your heart was screaming no? If that feels familiar, you're not alone. So many of us trade our long-term peace for a moment of calm, just to avoid upsetting someone or seeming selfish. But over time, this habit drains us, leaving us exhausted, resentful, and burned out. We worry about rocking the boat or looking self-centered. The truth is, saying no is a core skill for mental health. Let's dive into this journey together and learn how to say no with confidence, respect, and zero guilt. A deeper psychological dive. Why is saying no so hard? Why does saying no feel like climbing a mountain? Psychology has some clear answers. John Bowlby, the founder of attachment theory, says people who grew up with conditional parental approval often can't say no as adults because they fear rejection. A 2020 study in the Journal of Social Psychology found 40% of people with anxious attachment struggle to say no due to this fear. The dread of conflict makes some of us think any refusal will spark a fight, so we ignore our own needs to keep the peace. Perfectionism's another trap. That inner voice whispers, if I say no, I'm a bad person, even though that's just a false belief. When we tie our worth to others' approval, our identity becomes dependent on their happiness. In families where saying no was seen as rude, kids learn to always say yes. Brene Brown, a leading researcher on self-worth, puts it this way: every yes against your true will sacrifices a piece of your soul. What happens long-term if you keep saying yes? When you constantly say yes to everyone, your mental energy runs dry, and you end up emotionally exhausted. You start feeling like a victim, as if your life's controlled by others. Those forced yes build up silent anger inside, which can later explode as aggression or sink into depression. Relationships turn lopsided when you always give in, creating unhealthy dynamics. Worst of all, over time, you lose touch with what you really want, and your sense of self slips away. How does saying no make your life better? Saying no isn't just about dodging pressure. It's a path to a better life. When you say no, you give yourself permission to focus on what truly matters to you. Your self-esteem grows, and your relationships become more balanced. A 2022 APA study shows relationships built on healthy boundaries are 30% more resilient. Saying no frees up energy for real, two-way connections, keeping you out of one-sided traps. The freedom and peace you get from it? It's like opening a window in a stuffy room. Personal boundaries, your invisible shield of peace. Healthy boundaries mean knowing where you end and others begin. They protect you from anxiety, anger, and burnout while making your relationships clearer and truer. When you have boundaries, you don't need to say yes just to prove you're kind. The golden formula for saying no. Here's an easy, respectful way to say no. Start with gratitude, add a but, give a short reason, and politely decline. For example, thanks so much for thinking of me, but my schedule's packed right now, so I can't help out. If you want, toss in a small alternative. I can't take on the whole project, but I can spare an hour to brainstorm. This keeps things kind, firm, and connected. Advanced exercises to strengthen your boundaries. To get better at saying no, try these exercises. First, go for the ladder technique. In week 1, say one small no every day, like turning down a snack or a minor request. Week 2, aim for 2 medium no's in the week. By week 3, tackle one big no in a significant situation. Second, before saying yes, ask yourself, what am I giving up here? Time? Energy? Peace? That's the psychology of trade-offs. Third, picture yourself in a tough spot and mentally rehearse saying no calmly and respectfully. How to manage anxiety when saying no. Saying no can make your heart race, but you can calm it down. Take 3 slow, deep breaths to lower your pulse. Before responding, focus on your personal values and tell yourself, I have the right to choose. Use an affirming phrase like, my no is about respecting myself. A 2023 study in the Journal of Anxiety Disorders says these techniques can cut momentary anxiety by 25%. Handling negative reactions from others. If someone gets upset about your no, stay calm and say, I know this might be tough, but my decision's final. Take a few deep breaths and hold eye contact to show you're confident. Don't over-explain or make up stories to justify your no. After stating your choice, steer the conversation to something neutral to keep things smooth. A real story of someone who mastered saying no. A 32-year-old teacher shared this. I used to say yes to every request from students and colleagues, thinking it made me a better teacher. One day, swamped and exhausted, I was asked to run an extra workshop. I used the golden formula and said, "Thanks for the suggestion, but my week's full, so I can't do it." I was nervous they'd judge me, but instead, my colleagues respected me more for managing my time. Now, saying no gives me space for myself and my teaching, and I feel like I'm truly me. A 21-day plan to build your no muscle. Want to make saying no a habit? Try this plan. For the first week, focus on awareness. Days 1 to 3, write down moments you should have said no but didn't. Days 4 to 7, spot any wrong beliefs you have about saying no. In week 2, practice gradually. Days 8 to 14, say no in simple situations with low-risk people. By week 3, lock it in. Days 15 to 21, say no in bigger, more challenging moments. How to care for yourself after saying no. After saying no, give yourself a pat on the back for being brave. Do something calming like meditating, taking a walk, or listening to soothing music. Talk to a friend who gets your choice. Jot down every no you say in a notebook to track your wins. Let's wrap it up with a challenge. Saying no isn't selfish, it's self-respect. With steady practice, your confidence will soar. Your relationships will get realer, and peace will replace anxiety. Every no is a yes to your calm, your worth, and your growth. Like an old saying goes, one heartfelt no outweighs 1,000 reluctant yes. Here's my challenge for you. What's the first no you want to say today? Drop it in the comments and share how it felt. For more psychology tips to live boldly, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell.